Engage. Haven't seen this happen today yet. It did happen yesterday. They go for the fish. They're gonna be looking good so far. Gonna have less loot though overall and be bad on time. The last time they disengaged, I believe they had a little bit of a closer zone. This time we're going towards what looks like Holly or Slurpee. It's gonna be rough for them on rotate. They have to do this fast, and already I feel like Podesai or MXR from Stealthy Stronghold is already on this island. Or my apologies, Bubak actually, who's landing over at Stealthy, and he's on this island. He's already fished up a little bit. I think Janice and Chapix know on the top right POV. They might hunt him down, but he's already leaving the island. And look at High Chris in the water, the yellow arrows on the map. We're at Slurpee right now, but they're chasing down our previous FNCS champions. They're not letting them get away for free.
We're here at Slurpee to keep tabs on the 4th place team of Kiriachi, Stormy, and Toos. The team that have just been having a really solid run, free rotations. Usually when you have Slurp Factory contested here, and now going up against, that is Shadow's trio there, who are doing that Shantytown split. Now we have eyes here on the 2nd place team, who have been holding on to 1st place throughout the entire tournament, and they've just been kind of just putting in kind of like a points, like really solid, you know what I mean? But when you have the teams that have been putting in some astronomical numbers, some huge performances like Vidil and Queasy, who has just been just as consistent, but you're just seeing the two clashes of meta, Shiloh, right? The high ground and the low ground, and right now the high ground is just winning it out, and they have the advantage, but it's only by 5 points. So look at the gold number right now. That is just in this session, 118. On the other side, Queasy is at 136. So if Refsguard's trio could get those 5 points, they automatically close the gap in the cumulative leaderboard.
Absolute 5-point difference. At the same time, here is the catch up. We're fighting this fight on a brand new map. It looks like usually craggy cliffs. Now we're on that Flopper Island. Chapix, Janice, and Hen have all the high points, but High Chris has actually made a little bit of a base on the right side. Gonna be looking for a shot, but he's playing it sneaky. They're not letting these guys extend these builds whatsoever, because they might be able to find High Chris on his spot. Very smart from Vortex. As he does that though, gets bopped, low on shields. Janice down below 2, and he's almost down with no HP.
What a great adjustment from High Chris trio. Last time they let this trio disengage to Flopper Island. This time they decided to take the fight to them right on the island.
Yeah, exactly. This is going to be the wrap-up of the tournament as well. There's no point really for this trio to roll in and disengage. They're going to keep chasing down, but Chapix stops their chase at least a little bit. Knight's 1 HP too. If he drops down and sees him with a quick flick, he can end his big run too. He's going to stay sneaky. Meanwhile, because of this, there'll be enough relief of pressure for Janice to get revived back up. A medkit in play too. They're going to be looking fine for now. Once again, though, Sancho, zone is not here. And these guys are already running through their meds and loot. Look at Chapix's inventory. This is not a Chapix loadout. Makeshift AR, blue pump. Finally find the sneaky man. Good night. Good night, literally. And that's gone. So these guys get to play their game out for the rest of game number 11. The thing is, though, they had to invest so much here. Look at all the hard mats. They barely got the fish, and zone's coming in.
It is vital for them to find a vehicle like you see a Gnosis trio, put some chunker tires on that, which is a new introduction here in the season that just allows you to move like right over the terrain a lot faster. So they're going to sit there on Flopper Island, no doubt, hit up all the fishing holes. I've seen Thomas AC Flick and Gnosis here are going to visit this character to be able to buy a rift, and they're going to be able to move on through. It's so exciting to always see a rift. It just makes me so nostalgic. Oh, Rift to Ghost, I love you.
They'll be able to rotate fast. Meanwhile, Savage, oh my goodness, almost thrown off course. It's good.
It's a little, it's a little tough. The chunk tires a little bit, the suspension is a little high, you know?
Yeah, I'm not sure if they were made to literally jump buildings, but Refsguard makes it happen. And while he does that, they're going to look for tags as well. This is a mobile surge vehicle, and they're looking for it. They'll try to go for it. They'll move out. Refsguard will be able to heal and drive at the same time, or at least be in the car at the same time as he heals. Tulek, Squeezy, and Jerky, though. This is kind of the perspective. 2nd place and 1st, back to back. They got 2s. I think they'll look to just hit that bow shot with the pump shot. Yes, they combine it for the big surge tags too. And that's going to be looking good for them overall. Stinkfish, 6 of them in play. You saw before, Sancho, Stinkfish kind of ruined one of their games. Now they're going to look to actually use them to get ahead of the competition.
Sometimes the Slurp Factory team used to go out into these fishing spots. They become fishermen for a bit. That's a big part of Kirachi's game plan. They have about 3 slots that's all dedicated to heals with floppers and mobility. If they had a spicy fish, that's what they use to overtake height. So that's why you found, you know, Two's way out there by themselves. So that's a great adjustment by Queasy's trio deciding to push, which has been so far a of Slurp Factory.
And if you're in the top 10 right now, you're also looking to grab mountains or grab guardian posts. We saw a Nas at one of them. Ref Scar's going to be up towards the middle of the spire as well.
5 points, bro. 5 points. This is going, you know what I mean? That's what separates them from first place. And we already saw Queasy got another one, so it's actually 7 points, right? The elimination, 7. We have yet to get to that placement threshold in the top 25, so 7 points right now separating first and second.
Meanwhile, everyone's trying to catch up. They're kind of in a little bubble of their own, about 50 points ahead of everyone else. Nas, Flick, and Thomas, even the team all the way up top with Inlex, Nazy, they need wins. They need wins right now to get all the way up top, but only one team can walk away with that victory royale. Only one team can really afford to push for double-digit elims and be safe at the same time. So Nas, Flick, and Thomas will try to. Gonna keep rotating away.
They're coming back slowly. They're in top 10. In the previous game, they moved up from 13th to 10th place. They have 190 points. They're slowly turning their fate. It's one of those teams, just like in the playoffs of any kind of sports. They're a veteran team. You don't want to see them. You know they're going to be a tough out if they're along their rotation. So no doubt, seeing an Andelix trio sitting in front of you, that's not good news for Anas, because that trio is going to continue on the rotations. As you see, Reason actually knocking Pizza in the feet.
Pizza going down. Reason feels like these guys are already hot off their step, looking to have another great game. Zyku-san and Jules, I would say one of the most surprising performances of this FNCS. Rolling in, they look so good on height. They look so good in their heat as well. They just lack that experience of control, but so far today, 7th place. They're right behind Flickanos Thomas and ahead of Janice Chapix and Hen. They're next to legendary names rolling in on one of their first FNCSs, you know, looking really good too. They're just having a very stellar performance. Excited to see how they look in future seasons. The games aren't even done today. If they figure out how to make up for their lack of experience, take more risks, they can get even higher on the boards today.
They didn't even make it into round 4 of any of the qualifiers, so they are progressing right. And you're right, if the career trajectory, if they decide to stay together as a trio, they could definitely keep having a better performance in the next finals.
Astroki looks like he's back up with Pizza and Ardit, so the full elimination didn't really come through. Savage, although, has kind of invested a lot into this game. Must be medkits or something that are already down, maybe big pots. Still has that stink bow, is going to be moving over.
Ooh.
Wait for the threshold, wait for it, wait for it.
I'm waiting.
Boom,
Okay.
214. We learned the lessons, yep.
Yes, yes.
They're looking real good. 214 above, and they still have chances to do more damage. Who's right next to him? Yeah, but it's Fast Strokey. They don't like letting a trio getting away for free. Fast Strokey, a lot of the times, if they're down on Surge, they like having these box fights, but I don't feel like in the last 2 games they're going to be playing that super risky.
Just showing you there, they take a lot of moments here to fight this engagement. You have Wakey's trio out there, you have the Deals trio just a little bit further, so this wedge is already being filled with big names of the EU region, and 7 points is all they need right now. So that number gets to 222. Right now, so that number gets to 222. They catch up to Queasy. Placement points haven't been doled out. 5 points we're going to be doled out in about 4 places, and the lobby focus is coming in. This is 2nd place here on the ropes. They might get KO'd, and that's Noah Riley applying pressure on the other side. That's Asterios applying pressure on the other side. Here comes the stink. The gas may be a little too dense for them, and Dreda now down without any shield on the sliver of life. Savage is on the same way, is able to get back to 100 HP, but Rough Scar goes down. Too much pressure from all angles, as my boy Shio will say. Left, right, up, down, doesn't matter where they look, they were just getting too much, and now it all falls on Indreda's shoulders. This will be by far one of the lowest finishes they had throughout the entire tournament, and this is 2nd place once again. 6 HP and a dream, and that dream is being... key refresher off of Mappy's trio, and Mappy is just disengaging right now, leaving this trio on the island all by themselves with no life raft to be able to survive, and Storm Surge is raining down terror. 55 below, not enough minis to hold on, but Red Rush, he sees that, he's trying to capitalize, but some tabs on Red Rush here, Resguard and Dreda here. It's all but a matter of time for them to be eliminated here in one of the second games, and the Raptor says hello, but Asterios is the ultimate king. He takes them down, and now Red Rush, Asterios, and Mappy get revenge, and what an almost bad timing for Andretta, Resguard, and Savage to go down, because Queasy, Trulix, and Jerky are still on their feet, looking good, feeling good, breathing in that fresh air.
Fresh air, first place right now, watching in the feed, second go down. Refsguard and Dreda Savage are going to be one of the only top trios in the game right now not to be playing out this specific end game. This is a chance for a lot of people to catch up, but at the same time, a chance at the second last game of the EU finals for Queasy, Trulex, and Jerky to really solidify that first place spot.
The only trio I think they have to be very, have to keep wary of is Vidil trio. Throughout the entire day, they've been playing height. They've already defended them once. They already got a huge bow shot to stop their push. So we have to keep an eye on what kind of position does Vidil trios have. But let's keep an eye on here on a third place team, Tayson.
Third place looking to take over second, but it's a 50-point gap they have to make up. Looking in for a big fight too. It's a Tomzy. Bloomy already a little bit affected. I think Percival's down. They're not going to be trading lives either. It's just damage. They pick up another. Find Percival. Looks like they found one more as well through the entire engagement. Haven't taken out the full trio, but they'll take those points. Let's talk about patterns and weaknesses for the two trios we were just talking about, Sancho, Queasy, and Vidil. For Vidil, once again, they're having bad games and then a victory royale, back to back to back. Their last game was just bad. They're slated to get a VR right now, especially we've been seeing them picking up eliminations all throughout the map. Now for Queasy, Trulex, and Jerky, their biggest weakness is having height like they have right now and not being aware of the lobby getting overtaken. This is a scary situation. The only games they've really choked and lost is when they actually have high ground. Their consistent games is where they play mid, they look fine. This is such a good spot for them. They look like kings right now. But that throne is definitely up for grabs. They have to be very vigilant. Think about Thomas HD Flick and Anas as well. This is not a pattern we've seen for an entire season, but these last two games usually is where they operate. They love the pressure. They like being in sixth place all the way behind. Now, it's a big gap. They're about 80 points away or 60 points away from the first place, Queasy, Trulex, and Jerky. But if they can catch up now, it has to be the time. They'll have to take them off of height as well.
Let me introduce some other foes of Queasy's way. You have Shadow's trio, who are known to be aggressive at height. You also have a trio in Hen right behind them, who in game 4 yesterday were able to flank them and sneak up here. So it all depends where the zone 5, half in and half out. You already see Noah Riley already invested here in about 0 seconds. Here we go. In about a minute, we're gonna see zone 5 revealed, and let's see if Queasy or Noah Riley or Shadow gets that first moving.
We'll talk about the zones in the map too as these guys drop down pressure. You'll see a bunch of eliminations come through. The more important thing is we haven't seen a Slurpee endgame zone just yet in these FNCS finals. We've seen Caddy multiple times, Lazy Lake multiple times. The Orchard, Spire in the middle as well has been big, and Vidil, Noah Riley like to operate there. Everyone has experience on all sides of the map. Over here though, the bottom left side of the map, we have not seen any of these teams have their takes so far inside this lobby. This is going to be a brand new, fresh game. Noah Riley's looking for picks already. Thomas HD got some in the feed. Slender is still alive this game. All the trios we're used to seeing go down are up and ready. This is a completely fresh experience.
What a solid position right here. Look how much lobby is just coming their way from Noah Riley, Vidil, and Reason. They haven't been able to get there. There is finally a good knock on Domentos right there, but those are the valuable elimination points they could to close the gap, because they have a lot of work to do considering that Queasy is still up. Here we go. Zone 5 is about to be revealed. This is going to be huge for the second to last game here of the EU finals. Let's see where it goes.
Checking out all sides of the map. Looks like people are starting to rotate in. It's towards this top right of Slurpee Swamp. Noah Riley basically have the gatekeep position, at least from their trio. I see one on absolute height. It might be Trulex. No, it's Exterios, who's all the way on high ground. with Mappy and Red Rush, somehow they find a way to get all the way up top. The consistent trio coming in throughout the day have kind of, you know, had a leg backwards. They're in 4th place right now. They have the best chance to catch up completely, but they have to fight. They have to fight.
My oh my, we're used to seeing the low ground and just seeing Trulix. Yes, the defense they saw in the VOD how they got flanked on. They're trying to discourage that high ground retake, because we all know it's basically so much free. That's to be an economy type of way to take that high ground from, because they don't have to use all that. That's what Chapix is keeping an eye on for. But look, actually Flick is pushing on Noah Riley. They're trying to take this height away from them, and Noah Riley's doing all that he can to stop it.
Every team from 3rd to 10th is trying to find a way to get back into this tournament, get back to the 1st place slot. Right now for Anas, it'll be going straight to Noah Riley's box. A big pump comes in to trade. Thomas HD is keeping this team's dreams alive, but he's the only one left up with 19 HP. Landed a big pump, didn't get a full finish on the Elam either. This height take did not work out, and their chances for 1st place are definitely on the line.
Thomas HD could definitely clutch that situation. He's done it in previous season. He's gonna have one of the biggest clutches, but look, Height's in trouble. Trulix Jerky goes down, and Queasy has been put down to low ground. He is in shambles. Queasy doesn't want to be down here. The air is not just too dense for them. His lungs are used to clean air. Queasy now, he has to do all that he can to hold on. This is the 1st place team going down, and placement points are well out, getting doled.
This might be the most important clutch of Queasy's career in general. The longer he stays alive, the more of a gap he makes between him and Savage, who went down so much earlier. It's all about placement points for that team right now, but for Exterios, Mappy, and Red Rush, it's all about the catch-up. If Queasy goes down as well, it basically becomes a foot race for every top 10 team to close that gap, but it's all down to him. 15 different teams alive right now. That placement will come in every single time one goes down. Queasy moving forward, only soft mats, 400 builds. He's looking to harpoon any type of materials, but every edit he opens is an invitation for more beams to come from any direction that he's looking at. A big shot right in front. He dodges it, goes towards low ground. He's still moving in. He is getting more placement. Thomas HD is down. He has a little bit, but he's taken out now. For every other team up right now, it's a chance for contention, a chance to catch up to the 1st and 2nd place team. This is that gap game, and every team's looking to fill it.
Reason Noah Riley and Badil are 2nd from height. You're taking a look at Kinzel, 16th place going into this match here. They have some chance to move up their leaderboard, but Tayson, 4ZR, Nate, who have been passive at in-game, are now looking at height to see if they could take it. If Tayson, 4ZR, Nate could take height, they could move from 3rd place and close the gap that the 1st and 2nd place team are. You talked about it, Shio, 50 points, but Badil gets a knock on Joe. So Badil and Noah Riley are making their move right now as Tayson's going to the front side of the storm here just to make sure that they get as much placement as possible. We're getting closer and closer to the top 10 situation. Kinzel, Wake, and iDrop have the advantage here, but now we're taking a look at who has the advantage on the low ground. It's Andalex. We talk about the veteran trio. You do not want to see controlling the low ground, but now we focus here back to 3rd place. Shio, can Tayson right here, the ultimate solo star, find the impact frags? I think he got that one, maybe, we'll see. But Tayson, yes, he does, and that was on the deal.
Wraps up the deal. One of the other top teams in 5th place rolling in. Tayson is trying to big that gap all the way from 3rd to 5th place and catch up to 1st. He's looking possibly for a height retake 2. Surveying the area. Meanwhile, Marine down in the feed. Wolfie's going away too. That entire squad is getting taken away. He's done the analysis. I feel like the team might be going for it in just a second. They have a little bit of those materials, but no. Kinzel, Wakey, and iDrop are way too high. We're going straight to the ocean as well. Low ground's going to be a little bit of trouble. They have to build a little bit more on the floors. Tayson is getting close and personal to that low ground as well. Building all the way left and right. Shaco's going down in the feed. Snazy on low ground also gets taken out by Nate. This squad is active. They're looking for box-to-box fights, and they're winning them all.
They need all these points right here. A 50-point gap going into it, like I said before. And if they get this, Tayson now is in trouble. 5 HP. He's going to have to move on out, but I think Tayson was able to survive that pressure here. Tayson, 4ZR, now getting pressure from height. Tayson down to a sliver of health here. 6 eliminations from Nate. The former FNCS champion goes down in a flash so quickly. Now it's 4ZR here. He's in the back of the storm. 4ZR holding on. 19 HP, and he goes down as well. This is going to be a victory royale for Wakey, Kinzel, and iDrop here. And Clement, old names, old guard here on the line. Clement dapping into the water here, holding on as much as possible. But iDrop, Wakey, and Kinzel, too much to handle too hot to hold. 7 eliminations and the victory royale. That's big for them. They were 16th place. They could get up closer. We talked about all it takes, 2 games, 2 pop-off games, and you get a lot of movement on that board, Shayo.
That was definitely a catch-up game, though, for the majority of the server, right? A lot of those top teams going down early, even ForZR not being able to go all the way to the end for the victory royale. I'm wondering how that shakeup looks. What does the catch-up look like? You have to toss it over to the desk to see exactly how that game's results throw down.
Boys, we're in the back just screaming our heads off. All right, we're just yelling as all of this is happening. Trios falling left and right. This is absolutely insane. Now, we'll take a look at the standings in just a little bit, but this was game number 5 on the day, 11 of the overall tournament finals here in Europe. Gentlemen, at this point, it's a battle between first and second. Everyone else is playing for third. And when we're looking at these like spots, we're talking about a large amount of prize money, okay? And all these trios, they're looking to climb as high as they can to walk away with more of that pie. Reese, Levin, this game is way too tight right now.
Look, you said it's a battle for first and second, but it almost was a battle for first and second. This was a full southwest zone. It looked like Queasy completely had it in them. This is basically the worst possible zone for Savage's team, pulling all the way from Steamy Stacks all the way to max distance map. We saw it not work out for them, but at the same time, it looked like it was going to be Queasy's zone. As soon as that 5th zone pops, they're situated on height. No way to build over. They can't do their signature height play, and it all falls apart on the rotate. So both of our top 2 teams eliminated early in this game, which means that we saw ForZR. We were watching ForZR tasting a Nate through that entire end game. I think that was a third for them there with, I think, 7 eliminations, which is a ton of points, which means it was a battle for top 2. But I think with that game, those guys are going to move all the way up. And now it seems to be a 3-way battle for first coming into the final match.
Yeah. I wanted to come out and say, look, the top 2 teams made their lives a bit harder coming into that last game, but it's really unlucky, right? In the case of Savage's Shiro, where you have the max distance zone, it's not even a max distance zone, the max distance zone for that team. And even in Queasy and Trilix's case, you know, they don't pull 50-50. That height difference, it just wasn't going to happen, right? They just weren't going to get height there. And so you saw they were posturing for it, right? You know what they want to do, but they just couldn't execute it. And so going into this last game now, it's a 3-horse race. And what a race is it? What a race. Like, this is going to be crazy. Ultimately, one of these 3 teams is going to be in the sort of closing moments of that game. And that's probably going to be the team that takes it. And so what happens now if there's all 3 of those teams in that situation? Like, then things just get...
We have a good game.
We're getting all different levels of crazy right now in the final game.
This is absolutely insane. We'll take a look at these standings in just a second. First, we got to talk about our top 3 going into that last game. This battle at the top. We got to highlight the 3 trios that are closest to the Axe of Champions.
We literally just talked about these teams as already. You know, we set this up saying, let's go the top 3 teams coming in. I think they're still the top 3 teams in contention right now. ForZR, Tayson, and Nate had a good first day, but not anything amazing. They were 4th coming out of that first day. Now they're in 3rd, so moved up a single point, maybe even pushed their way up the leaderboards a little bit more. But Rescard, Savage, and Drea, after the first day, they were in 1st. It was all looking really, really good up until that, what was that, game number 10, where they started to get overtaken then. And then here we go, 11 games deep. They've kind of moved down a little bit. The gap seems to be changing a little bit more. This is one of the best 3-way races coming into the finals that we've seen in a long time. This is so tense.
Yeah, and you know, you look at Queasy and Trulix, both incredibly experienced players. Juriki, this is only his 2nd time playing in an FNCS finals. You know, is the pressure going to get to him coming into that final game? You know, he tweeted out just before the last game, we need to focus now. And so is this going to be the opportunity for them to close things out and win their first ever FNCS championships collectively? First team to break 300 points, 308 points, sitting on top of that standings. Queasy, Trulix, and Juriki, they need to hold on going into this last game. Refs God and Dre and Mr. Savage, even though they didn't get the game they wanted, they're still sitting there in 2nd. And, you know, the gap is reachable between them and Queasy. And so now, even with Tayson, ForZR, and Nate coming into this race, it is still a very difficult one to win.
Look, Here's what I'm going to lay out for you. The worst game that Queasy, Trulex, and Juriki have had so far has been 10 points. So let's assume that's the same again. That puts them on 318, which means that Rescard, Andrea, and Savage, Forza, Artaste, and Nate will need to win the game, and Queasy, Trulex, and Juriki will need to have one of the worst or equally worst games they've had throughout today when they are extremely consistent already, which is very, very unlikely in order for them to win. Watching Queasy, Trulex, and Juriki's early and mid game is going to be so critical because if they go down early, it's an absolute open field for any other two. Potentially, I'm going to go out on a limb here. Reason Vidil, Noah Riley. If they win with a huge elimination game, which we've already seen them do, and the top three don't perform, which again is possible, they could potentially get in there too, but they could also get up into top three.
Yeah, I think that's the thing, right? We are all focusing on who's going to be the one to clinch first place coming into this last game. But of course, there are still stakes that need to be set in terms of looking at who can get top three. You want to auto qualify, right? So all those teams that, I feel bad for Sancho and Shio in a way because they're going to have to keep a track of everything and let us know what's going on because there is going to be so much riding on this final end game. Like, I just want to sit back now and just enjoy the action.
Listen, I just checked, okay? Queasy has just tweeted, this decides it all. Good luck to all. Juriki, good luck, everyone. Good luck. They are aware. This is confidence coming into this game. Will they take it home? Will they be dethroned? We're about to find out, Fortnite fam. One final game in Europe. Sancho West, Shia Wager. Bring us home, boys.
3 teams, 1 dream, and the best reason to do it in, it's Europe. The last game, Sancho West, is on the line, and we're going straight in with Savage, Rescard, and Andretta. Second place, about 20, almost 30 points behind. Can they do it? Can they catch up to first place and triumph in the final game of EU?
There's only 4 words that can capture this moment. Good luck and have fun. This is the final game of the FNCS EU region. Will we have a new FNCS champion, or will Hen, Janice, and Chapix, I don't know, do the astronomical performance? But all eyes are on our top 3. Queasy, Refsguard, and Tayson all have a chance to win. And it all went down to the final moments last season. Will we get a repeat finish?
They have been the most consistent all throughout the day. You can see the stat on screen. The thing is, though, it's not about consistency anymore. They're on the catch-up. They're playing defense. A majority of this tournament, we're sitting very, very chill in that first place spot. Now at second, they need to actually be proactive this game. They can't just stay waiting on low ground. Maybe play for height. Depending on where the zone goes to, that'll be huge. You know what happens in the final games of the day on EU. We end up in the mountains. We end up in the sea. It gets crazy. Meanwhile, though, regardless of all of that, Trulex, Squeezy, Jerky, first place. So good throughout the whole day. Reset it best just to show you how dominant these guys are. Their worst game, Sancho, they get 10 points. You have to count on this team to have a good game no matter what. And every team right now in the lobby is preying on their downfall.
Essentially, their worst has been a lot of trios' best. They have a 24-point lead right now. If you want to keep tabs on it, you want to do the work with us, you want to do the math. Trulix's trio is at 155 for the session. That means for the day. You're looking at Andretta's trio still locked in at 118. Third place right now is 118 as well. So you're looking about 24 points difference between first and second. Third place right now is at an 11-point difference between third and second. Good luck doing math.
And in this final game, we pulled up an extra chair at the table. There are 3 teams neck and neck, close by, looking for that top tier first place spot. The champions of Europe, to be Forziar, Tayson, and Nate rolling in 273 points throughout both days. They're also very, very close, but have to do so much and hope that Queasy, Jerky, and Trulex trip over themselves trying to clinch this last game.
Let's take a look at the Zone 1 that's been revealed. If you're sitting out there and you're a Queasy fan, they're on the bottom left of your screen, and they have to go through all of those South rotator players that are all out there that have been just clawing. They've been bruising a lot of people, so that's going to be something to keep an eye on as they make that treacherous rotation. And Shio, Savage, Rescard, and Andretta, this is really close. This is a very winnable situation considering Zone 1 pulled their way. Last zone went all the way across the map.
Yeah, I mean, it's close to them, but neither team really pull the zone into their domain. Everyone's gonna have to move a little bit, especially 4ZR all the way at Sweaty Stands. Even Steamy Stacks, you see that white line? They have to eventually end up leaving this POI. They're on a timer, and they have to make sure their game is efficient.
We cannot forget 4th place, the Deal No O'Reilly and Reason, making a return back into the top 3. That's the only new team that are within the striking distance, within being that auto qualification as well. What a phenomenal performance from them, no matter what. It let them know that they could change their playstyle if for some reason the placement points or elimination points changes. They know they could be aggressive, they could be that buzzsaw. But this is what's been so impressive throughout the day is Trulix, Queasy, and Jerky. We've been playing height aggressively, and who knows, imagine if day 1 they were able to get those victory royales when they had height, how much of a runaway performance this would be for season 6.
Yeah, I have it down in my notes. This team was literally supposed to win on day 1. The positions they were in, you're absolutely correct. Like, they literally were dominant and no team could, in theory, really catch them. In reality, though, they definitely did get caught. Going back, though, watching the VODs, making sure everything, all the mistakes were fine. They came in into day 2, the fresh mindset, and now they have a huge lead on many teams. All they have to do this game is survive.
We already talked about a lot of numbers, but let me throw you the big numbers that's happening here. But let me put a pause on that as our defending FNCS champions are in trouble. Lanouf's trio here has put so much pressure on them. Now that Janice is in a defensive stance here, Lanouf does get hit. It is cracked right now, and that might be just enough to kind of slow down this push that's happening from Slicks, Marine, and Lunef.
Gonna be trying to go all the way in. At the same time, every team right now, they might not be holding anything back. In the last game, you might need a lot of eliminations to go a little bit higher. And the prize thresholds there are for the entire tournament we're watching so far, for the whole finals, for Janice and Chapix, it might not be possible for them to level up the whole way and get top 3. They're about, I would say, 40 points behind. So they definitely would need the win. High Chris is here, still chasing them. They disengaged over and over again yesterday. And, you know, both teams have to play their games out. If this is the first time you're tuning in for the day watching, Hen's team, we're watching on screen right now, Under the Bridge, has been contesting High Chris's team for all 12 games. They're trying to run away too, just to play this one out. High Chris does not care. They're coming through, chasing all the way. They're trying to have this fight towards the very end.
This is so heartbreaking to watch Hen, Chapik, and Janice. Chapik's tweeted out that he has never been contestant since squads. We're just seeing them right now. Defending champions. Not a lot of room to breathe. They essentially need a double-digit elim and a victory royale, and a lot of other teams ahead of them to go down, but I'm not seeing it. As much as I would love to root for a repeat, the repeat is looking like it's in shambles.
Entire tournament hanging by a thread, no shields to kind of protect them either. They have to do this absolutely raw. Vortex jumping all the way in. Hen gets taken out. Chapix 1 HP. Both these teams, both these players have such a history throughout these entire finals. And although Janice, Chapix, and Hen have been winning off spawn entirely, it might just be High Chris who gets the last laugh. Janice on his wall. Champions fall. Their run so far for the top 3 is over. Phenomenal, though. Contested for 12 games. They had a very good showing and will end somewhere within the top 10 or 15 at the end of the finals.
It's just something that when it comes down to this moment, this is what it is all about. FNCS, we still have 3 teams that are just separated by a victory royale. Payson, 4ZR, and Nate. As a team, they're in 3rd place. Only 11